Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Today is Tuesday, July 7th, 2015. I'm speaking to Ms. Padma Saini. This interview is being conducted in New York City. Ms. Saini, what's your desh?
India.
Where in India?
New Delhi.
New Delhi. How long have you lived in New Delhi?
New Delhi, almost 60 years.
And then before?
Before that, I'm from Karachi, Pakistan.
Karachi, Pakistan.
Yes.
So, for how long did your family lived in how many generations in Karachi?
Several generations. My father's family lived in Karachi, and all of a sudden, on 6th February 1948, our house was looted.
Oh.
And we were financially very well off. My father was overseer engineer.
Mm-hmm.
And we were seven brothers, sisters,
mm-hmm.
and my mother's mother also was in the house.
Mm-hmm.
When like almost 300 mobs, they just broke the house and walk in and then trying to loot. And looting wasn't so bad, they can take everything go, but they made all children to stand in a line
mm-hmm.
and holding a sword in front of them that we need to find everything before we kill you.
So they held a sword, as if they were to cut them up,
yeah.
murder them.
And my mother, when she got married, she was skinny, but then later on she gained weight, and she had 10 gold bangles on each arm.
Mm-hmm.
And they were trying to take it out. They couldn't take it out because of the body weight. And one of them said, okay, if you can't take it out, cut her arms off.
My gosh.
And my grandmother, she stepped in and she says, please don't do that. In 2 minutes I'll take it out. So she poured the oil bottle on her arms and then started to move. In the meanwhile, when the mob moved in our house, our neighbor, who were Muslim, he and his wife, they called my father in his office that your house has been looted and there are too many people, robbing your house. So he had taken help from the police, and his friend, who was also a police officer, they took the van and immediately started to, they called my neighbors again and asking, is anyone alive from my family, so should I come or should I not? Then they said, no, everybody's alive, they're still robbing your house, there's a big noise going on. So they came. At the time, they took all the gold with them, and police officer walked in with several constables.
Did they arrest anybody?
Then, as soon as they walked in, they left everything. They started to run, and we were 5 minutes away from dying because they were saying, we will chop your heads off before we leave. And so my father was very happy to see us, at least we were alive. And immediately the police van took us. They said, come out. And then worst thing happened. I was 5-year-old that time. I remember a lot of things. We came out with no shoes in our feet or nothing. My mother was from the old-fashioned way, always carried a veil with them in front of their arm, neck or something, and she was without veil. My grandmother without veil. So they were not moving. Police officers saying, hurry up, get in, and then they were so hesitant to get in. A lady from the higher level, like a third floor, she threw one veil down.
So that they were your tenant, or you're living in an apartment?
We lived in a house. There were 3 houses, one on the top of the.
Okay.
The third house, she threw veil from the top.
Was it Hindu family or Muslim family?
Muslim family.
Okay.
And my mother was asking for one more, and she shut the door and got inside. My mother and grandmother, they tear the veil into 2 and cover themselves, and then immediately the police officers, when they brought us to the home minister's house, Ali Muhammad, his name. And Ali Muhammad, my father's friend, they knew each other, so he took our family in the backwaters of his bungalow.
Okay.
and he said, you will be safe here till you are ready to be going to India and Bombay or whatever. Anyway, my father was so unhappy. It was a big shock for him.
Yeah.
So we stayed in the back of the bungalow, and every day they were giving us meals twice a day. But every day waiting when the ship was.
But why didn't he try to keep you in Karachi, because that's your home, that's your homeland, instead of sending you to somewhere else? Why the minister didn't try to keep you safe at your home?
His power was limited that time because the riots and unsettlement in the whole country was totally chaotic. Every day was riots.
But the people who came to rob you, they were Muslims?
All Muslims, 300 of them.
Did you know any of them, your family?
Nobody knew nobody.
Okay.
But they only knew there's a Hindu family lives here.
Okay. What was the neighborhood, your neighborhood?
Everybody was Muslim.
No. What's the name of your neighborhood?
We live in Altri Maidan.
Altri Maidan.
Yes.
And can you tell us how was the house like?
House was a nice bungalow style house, and first was when you enter, we had even a telephone in those days. I remember black telephone.
That's a very special, very rare.
And my father was overseer had job in the office, and then he had a side business. Side business means international seed stores. That was named for my mother's International Ganga Seed Store.
Oh, okay.
So at evening he used to sit there, and my mother also went occasionally. So we were very well-off family, and for centuries we had lived there.
So tell me about how did the building look like?
Building looked like a
big building, wooden building.
No, it was this color. What you call this color?
Off-white.
Off-white from outside veranda. Enter the big living room, and then there were bedrooms, and then I remember the kitchen. I remember the kitchen was so big that we used to sit down and eat. There was not a dining table. Then the bathroom, I remember, it was a toilet, flush toilet that was Indian style.
Very old, yeah. I mean, there's a very old.
And that you pull from the chain.
Yeah. It's still there.
Yeah. So that house was so nicely organized.
Who else used to live besides your parents and you?
My mother's grandmother, my mother's mother was visiting by chance. Only our family lived there.
So what's the name of your parents?
My father's name is Shri Nechal Das Asudhani.
Okay.
And my mother's name Srimati Ganga Devi.
Ganga Devi. Okay. So now tell us, did your older brothers and sisters go to school nearby?
Oh, my all brothers were going to school that time. The 4 brothers were older than me.
Okay.
So 3 of them were going to school.
Okay.
And me and my brother, we were younger. We were too young to go to school.
How did you used to go to school? Do you know?
I don't know that.
Okay. Do you know what's the name of the school?
I don't recall that.
So what happened then? Then minister is looking for.
So minister was every day looking if there's a space in the ship so they can send us to the ship, but there was no luck till 2 months.
Okay.
In the meanwhile, one day my father put on the Muslim clothes, the high hat and outfit, and he with his friend, they went back to the house that was looted and totally ransacked. He found his certificates, his college certificates, and then he picked up a book of the birth certificates.
Oh.
We had a book for the birth certificates.
So that was there.
Yeah, that was there. He grabbed these 2 things, and then one of the gold chain was my mother's
somewhere in the dark.
He grabbed this and came back.
So did he shut the building or the house?
It was robbed and it was left open, unattended.
And nobody, even in 2 months, nobody had moved in yet?
My father went within a week, first week, because he was anxious to get something.
Naturally.
As soon as he got his certificates, he was sure that anywhere he goes, he will be productive somewhere.
So what was the situation like as they were robbing? Yeah, and you're standing in line, or brothers and sisters, even mother and grandmother, and what was going through the minds of your mother and grandmother?
That is hard for me to believe, to conceive what was going through their mind.
What about
But
his children?
I was thinking, what's going on? I just thought that was funny. There was a, why so many people? Because I was so little, and nobody could talk to each other. It was very quick happen. It happened less than an hour. This whole thing happened.
That's a long time, though.
Less than an hour. Oh no, they ransacked our house. Every inch of the house, thinking there's a lot of gold here, a lot of gold.
What about the furnitures and stuff? Did they take any of
No, no.
They were looking only for jewelry and gold.
Gold, money.
Money and other
That's
stuff.
all it is.
So what happened to the business, Ganga seed business?
Everything was left there.
Okay.
Everything. So and then 2 months staying in Mr. Ali.
In the back of the house. So your father is still going to work?
No, he wasn't. We were just in a hideout.
Okay.
Nobody knew that.
For
we
2
were
months?
There. 2 months. Then one night, driver came to pick us all in the middle of the night. Took us to the deck of the ship. He dropped us there and never looked back, and we were so glad that there was a refuge for us.
Okay.
We were safe over there.
So he took all of you in one car? All of you fit in?
I don't remember that, but all I remember that I was sit down. My grandmother said, sit down on the floor, and she used to wear a big ghagra, and I'm just hiding under her ghagra.
Okay. So you went to the you were dropped off at the port.
At the port.
And then what happened?
Then the morning ship, we were put in the ship.
Did they register you, or did they ask for
I don't
fare?
know about that, but all I remember, we were in the ship.
Okay.
And ship was like all over carpets, and just sit there. Anywhere you get a place to sit there, and then food was given. At the third day we reached Bombay.
So it took 3 days by ship from Karachi to Bombay.
And the name of the ship was Jal Durga.
Jal Durga. So what do you remember the date? Approximate 2 months?
Yeah, almost we reached the Alexandria dock in Bombay, and as soon as we reached there, there were Congress volunteers. They were
Congress Party volunteers.
Yeah, they were giving us food and giving.
Approximate date?
Approximate date? No, that date I don't have.
Okay.
Because we reached in 3 days.
Okay, 3 days.
Less than 3 days,
So as you're fleeing, everybody in the boat were refugees?
Everybody. It was like animals on the ship.
What were you able to carry? What did you carry with you?
Nothing.
So then what happened to your property?
Everything left behind.
So did you get your family get compensation for those things from Pakistan government?
When we came India, my father was in such a great shock. He didn't think it was worth. When you're depressed, you don't feel like doing anything. He did not claim nothing. But good outcome was this, that we stayed on the Alexandria deck for 19 days.
19 days?
19 days out in the open. Twice a day they were giving us food, and that's it. And after 19 days, my father in the meanwhile showing them their certificates that this is the qualification, this is what I have. Then they send us a Pimpri refugee camp.
Yeah, Pimpri
that's
is in
Bombay. It's the outskirts of Bombay.
Yeah.
A refugee camp was huge, small space was given to us in a horse barn, where the horses are raised, and small portion with the separating with the sheets from one sheet to another. So we were all, but father got a job over there.
Oh.
And job was to go 1 week here, 1 week there, but something to bring money home. In the meanwhile, living in refugee camp, boys were getting involved with the bad company.
Yeah, okay.
And that made my father very, very unhappy. We had my brother's sister's husband. He was working in Rashtrapati Bhavan those days as a chief engineer.
Okay.
His name was Tikam Belani.
Okay.
he sent him a letter that I'm here, I have a job, but it's not what I want. Can you help me get a job over there?
Okay.
Then 3 days later, he sent a telegram that come with the family, you have a job here already.
So he got a job in Delhi.
In Delhi. So in the meanwhile, whatever money he had earned from that job, we used that money to buy train tickets.
Okay.
We got in the train, and Delhi he came to receive us. As soon as we came, everybody's skin problem were so intensive. He took us to the doctors. We all got treated. Then he had arranged for the house. My father got a job as a state manager of Anand Parvat.
Okay.
Anand Parvat is a high elevated area in New Delhi.
Okay.
And from you stand on the top of, you can see the whole Delhi.
Okay.
Yeah. So he kind of liked that job, and we got a very nice big house very big house to stay. The house was a barracks. Like Britishers used to live in those barracks, and they left those barracks, and we happened to have that. It was very nice, big open kitchen, nice place to stay. We started to catch up with ourselves. Finally, there was one school, high school in Anand Parvat that called Ramjas School number 2. Ramjas School has 5 branches, but this was number 2. And my brothers all were joined there, and I started to go to school, primary, first grade, and everybody according to their whatever.
So you studied in school there? In the school there. And then tell me about then you finished high school?
Okay, now the biggest trauma has left in my life about the schooling is that the school, Ramjas School is a boys' school, and up to primary school is a girls and boys. So I finished primary school up to 5th grade, and now comes that the whole school is a boys' school. I cannot go in that school, so where do I go? On the Anand Parvat, there was no girls' schools anywhere, but the nearest school was like 5 miles. So my father said my daughter has to go to school, absolutely must. He took me several schools, they were 5 miles, 6 miles, so how I'm going to commute and go and this. I was disappointed. My mother was very upset that why she has to go to school. Let us stay home, we need a lot of help at home. My father stood strongly, he says absolutely no option, she has to go to school. She cannot be home without education. But funny thing happened that he happened to speak to the principal of the Ramjas school, and principal said, my daughter goes to this school, and there's another vice principal, his daughter goes to, so your daughter can come. 3 girls among 2,000 boys. So my father was pleased. He says, okay, no problem, we'll go. But my mother raised very high, that she is going to the boys' school, what will happen.
She raised a lot of heckles.
Exactly. So anyway, I was determined to go to school. So that's how I continued.
Then I'll go back, but then tell me a little bit about, then you went to college?
Yeah, then I went to college to do my pre-medical. My pre-medical, I was accepted for the medical school. But that time, my father had retired, and he had a limited income. So my 2 brothers were in the college. One was in journalism, one was in the BA. He says, I cannot pay for medical school because those days, it was only 250 rupees a month.
That's a lot of money though.
But then, there was no student loan, there was nothing else. Either you pay or you don't. And I was he says, I cannot pay for you. So I went join the teacher's training. So I became graduate teacher. After graduate teacher, I got the job, and within 3 months, myself and my brother, we went to see a movie in Patel Nagar somewhere, and there was a huge commercial over and over that, can I say in Hindi? आपके देश को सेवा की बहुत ज़रूरत है, नर्सिंग की बहुत ज़रूरत है.
Then there is a tremendous need for nurses to serve the nation.
Yeah. Because 65 India-Pakistan was going through war.
Yeah.
So that time soldiers needed a lot of help. I came home, I said, Daddy, I want to go to nursing. He said, you crazy, you just finished your teacher's training. I said, I still want to go. So, but I didn't know how to do, but my friend told me you can apply military nursing school, you know. So I did apply. And after 42 candidates, 3 were selected.
Okay.
And I was one of them.
Okay.
My family had totally rejected my going to military. And my father was supportive. He says, absolutely, if she wants to do and serve the soldiers, so be it, she will do it.
Okay.
So my father was the only one who came to, I was posted at Secunderabad, that is 1500 miles from New Delhi.
Yeah.
My father came to drop me at the railway station, and so I can go, and I joined the Air Force.
Okay. So how many years you served Air Force?
In Air Force, I finished the training 3 years, and then we had 3 months of weapons training, and then 1 year further I went for midwifery, certified midwifery. After that I served 7 more years, so total I spent 10 years.
Okay, you served, and I understand you served during Bangladesh war also?
Okay, then 1970 Bangladesh war was, you know, catching up, and 71 was in full blow. I was sent to Delhi Kent. Because that's where more casualties were coming. All the high casualties, serious casualties were coming there, and we were working 16 hours a day, and all lot of
Delhi cantonment medical unit.
And it's so huge. It's in 3 miles, within 3 miles area. I stayed there 4 years, but I never got to see the whole hospital.
Now let me come back. Congratulations. Do you think you would have gotten you have gone that far, broken that many barriers if you had stayed back in Karachi?
Absolutely no. We were financially very well off. My father would have given me high school education, maybe college, and got me married. And then after marriage, I would have no chance to think what I want to.
Now, let me come back again. Did you, at the time of your place, your neighborhood, you were Hindu, there were any other Hindus there? Or you're the only Hindu in the neighborhood?
We were the only Hindu family. If there was any, I don't recall.
Okay. Now, did any of your family members ever go back to Karachi?
No.
No, so you don't know even what happened.
Yes.
Did you know the address?
Yes. Our house was house number 3, Altri Maidan.
Altri Maidan.
And I was born in a Sobraj hospital.
Sobraj hospital.
Yes.
And do you know if this hospital is still there?
It's still there because when I came to USA, I was working in a hospital, and I had a patient from Pakistan, Karachi, Pakistan, and I kept asking, and she said definitely the hospital is there, but the condition is not when it was back then, because it was run by the Britishers.
Yeah. So it was. Do you think would it have been possible for minority Hindus like your family to stay back by force? That means, like many, or in other words, that there are not very many. Almost all Hindus from Sindh has moved to India, but very few Muslims from neighboring Gujarat and Rajasthan has gone to Pakistan. Muslims have stayed back. So why do you think it was not possible for Hindus in Sindh or Pakistan to live?
According to our circumstances, we were not given any choice. If the way we were looted and they were about to kill us, my father had only one thing to be survive.
Life is more precious than
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we left not even $2 we had in my father's hand, nothing.
Nothing.
And yes.
What about your other extended family members? Do you know?
We had extended families, different areas in Pakistan, like Tarusha and Sakhar, Mabadaru, Jatoi, all those. So many came back. My father was always searching, and slowly was finding out. But it was not like it used to be, because everybody split.
Also they're struggling, I suppose, for their survival.
Yes.
You know. Again, do you know anybody benefited because of partition of India? Hindus, Muslims, poor, rich, educated, uneducated, anybody benefited?
Saddest part is that how much lives were lost. That is absolutely unacceptable as a human being. But I personally don't think anybody benefited. But what had happened to Hindus, I think it worked out okay for some people.
Of course, those who perished, it didn't okay.
Yeah.
I mean, people were killed outright.
Exactly.
So,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm almost to the end. So when people ask you your home, you already said it, but I'm still repeating. What do you say your home?
I say I owe my compassion, love, and sincerity to India.
Okay.
In New Delhi, I was raised in New Delhi with the freedom and support from my father, which is not a lot of people are fortunate.
Yeah. So the very last question, is there anything else you want to say that I didn't ask you?
Only best thing happened to me when I was graduated from BSc degree nursing from the Air Force. I was given award, not only award, President Award.
Oh, President of India.
President of India at that time was President V.V. Giri.
Yes.
And with his own signature. And then I haven't brought the pictures with me, but I had, after that, President Zakir Hussain, he also recognized me from Bangladesh services.
Oh, okay.
I got 2 awards more from that.
Very good, congratulations.
I know. So all these pleasant memories I have. But the good thing is my husband was very interested in coming to America because he was an electronic engineer. And we left India to come here. And I had successfully, happily I have raised my 3 daughters in America. The way I have raised them, it would have never been possible if I was in India socially.
Okay. So that's very nice.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much.